Today, the 5th day of February. The news headline: Biafra, the evil team called Atiku, Obi ticket, beware soul brother. With deep sense of concern and duty to our people, I offer, amidst warm tears, to remind our people the true nature of the evil duo they are about making the grave mistake of putting into office. This is a similar mistake we warned against at the buildup of the 2015 rape of franchise-labeled election, which saw the most barbaric despot into power. Because Biafrans, especially the Igbo-speaking clan, have proven to be the most gullible of political pranks in this ill-fated British experiment referred to as Nigeria, permit me to open the discourse with the beast in human flesh called Peter Obi. During his years in power as the executive governor of Anambara state, Peter Obi ordered the murder of over 150 innocent youths whose dead bodies were not even accorded the traditional respect of burial. Instead, like worthless animals, their bodies were dumped in Ezu River, where they floated for weeks. Knowing that any concerted investigation will lead back to him, Obi starkly refused to investigate the gruesome murder despite calls from different quarters. Is this the kind of man you want to put in office? A murderer? If as a mere governor he could shed the blood of those he is supposed to protect, what do you think he would do if he becomes the number 2 citizen of a murderous entity like Nigeria? And if you have forgotten, this fellow Peter Obi, who reports have revealed is a homosexual, ascended the throne of Anambra state governor on the platform of APGA, riding on the shoulders of His Excellency, late General Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. The late general, having instructed that APGA be used as the political front of his lifetime project, Biafra Freedom, and having gotten reassurance from the double-faced Obi, threw his weight behind him. But Obi, upon getting to office, turned his back on all agreements, pursuing his self-interest rather. Records are there to remind all and sundry of Obi's pledges and reiterations never to leave APGA for any other party. But today what have we? Has he not dumped APGA? Has he not joined PDP? And this is the same PDP that his own mouth called devilish, corrupt, and harbinger of death. Does anyone need prism to see that this self-seeking man is not just double-faced but a shameless dog that returns to its vomit? Now put it all together and ask yourself, can such a rapacious fellow serve your interest? Can such a double-faced fellow stick to any word uttered in campaigns? And if the answer to these two questions is no, why then do you want to go out and stand under the harsh sun just to vote? Does Obi love you and he carried his 15 billion naira worth shopping mall to Abuja? Why did he not build it in Port Harcourt, Calabar, Enugu, Umuahia, Asaba, Warri, Owerri, or Uyo? He didn't because he doesn't really care about you. He didn't because he wanted his Hausa, Fulani masters to see him serving the interest of the North rather than the East. He knew of course if he built it anywhere in Biafra land the suffering people of Biafra will gain employment, and he didn't want that. He wanted the Hausas to benefit instead. That's the depth of love the man for whose sake you want to go and stand under the sun has for you. What the mentally bereft folks clamoring for this vermin have failed to grasp is the significance of the melodrama that played out late last year at the Enugu Adoration Ground on the bizarre day. Peter Obi clearly demonstrated his serpentine nature and Reverend Father Mbaka saw him for whom he is, an untrustworthy fellow. If Obi could have such temerity to outsmart God, who then do you think you are that he will not dribble? Obi seeks nothing but self-enrichment. Put him to power and you will cry had I known. Atiku Abubakar, another homosexual secret eyes tell, has through political harlotry clinched the PDP presidential ticket. Just in case anyone has forgotten, Atiku has moved in and out of PDP a record 2 times, his self-interest egging him on. What a dishonorable man. Brethren, do you forget that quick? This man Atiku, whose political drum you are blindly beating today, left PDP to team up with late President Muhammad Buhari in APC in a concerted effort to remove our brother, Goodluck Jonathan, from office. They succeeded, and today he is asking you to vote Buhari, Jubril, out? When, in the pursuit of Fulani agenda, they connived to force Jonathan out of office, did he not know that the man he is helping is moribund? Did he not know he is a tyrant? Are you that daft? Do you forget this is the same Atiku that fought tooth and neck to frustrate our late brother, Dr. Alex Ekwim? Do you forget this is the same Atiku during whose time in custom, lots and lots of Igbo-owned containers were illegally seized and auctioned? What do you think will be the fate of Onitsha businessmen, and come to that, every Biafran businessman if an evil man like Atiku ascends into power? For his self-gain Atiku left PDP twice and returned twice. For his self-gain Peter Obi dumped Tapga for PDP. Men without honor. Can you trust such duo enough to entrust them with your future? Isn't it interesting that two political harlots are conjoined and are positioning selves to rule you? Isn't it interesting that Atiku picked a fellow homosexual? Imagine what a country controlled by homosexuals will be. Imagine what a country ruled by self-seeking duo will be. Beloved, sit at home on the 16th of February, let them who ushered in the evil government of Buhari deal with the monster they created. Boycott the charade nicknamed election. Do not renew your enslavement. Written by Nelson Afokaryagazi. Editor/Publisher, Chinkari. Facebook, facebook.com weblink. Twitter, @curry17. Email, curry17@gmail.com. News source www.thebiafrapost.com.
Today, the 5th day of February 2019. The second news headline. 2019 presidential election. Read what Femi Fani-Kayode said about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of Ipob. I do not agree with everything that my friend Nnamdi Kanu says, and neither do I subscribe to the view that the elections should be boycotted or that Abubakar Atiku is a Cameroonian. However, the suggestion that Nnamdi is working for Buhari is not only absurd but also asinine. The problem with most Nigerian politicians is that they are incapable of thinking beyond their nose and stomach and accepting or even comprehending the fact that some people believe in and live for higher ideals and have a far greater vision for their country than just blindly following others or just winning an election. It is not everyone that is in politics only because they are interested in getting an appointment to a political office or a job in government. It is not everyone that is interested in politics only because they are hungry and desperate or because they are addicted to or obsessed with power. Nnamdi is not interested in the 2019 presidential election and does not believe that his people should participate in it simply because he does not believe that such participation will in any way help the cause or sorry plight of his people or assist them in achieving their objective of self-determination. He is more interested in securing the freedom of his Igbo people from what he rightly considers to be a vassal state than in participating in a flawed and predetermined democratic process that he believes will not truly reflect the will of the Nigerian people and which he considers to be little better than a palliative. He sees such a process as nothing but an illusionary palliative which will not address the fundamental issues and challenges that bedevil our nation. Personally, I do not believe that it is a crime to have such a perspective, even if I do not fully agree with it. I may not agree with Nnamdi on everything or even like what he says at times, but that does not mean that I should demonize him or misrepresent him. All those so-called leaders and politicians insulting him and hurling stones at him do not have 10% of his charisma or courage, and neither do they possess his solid principles or firm resolve. Whether they like it or not, he has put his life on the line for the struggle, and he is fighting the whole damn rotten system, that is to be admired and commended.